ချိန်တွေသာတရက်ပြီးတရက်နာနာမှာကိုမရှိပေမဲ့
What if the person who hurt you the most finally understands your worth? And what if the greatest punishment in life is not losing love itself, but realizing that you destroyed the only person who truly loved you? Before we begin, tell us in the comments, should Nan forgive Koki after everything he has done? Or is some damage simply impossible to repair? The passing years have changed many things, but they have not erased the scars left behind. Koki continues living with the weight of his mistakes. Every day feels heavier than the last because he no longer has anyone to blame except himself. The arrogance that once guided his decisions has disappeared, replaced by endless regret and painful memories. He remembers Nan's loyalty. He remembers her patience. He remembers every time she chose him, despite being hurt. And now, when she has finally learned to live without him, Koki realizes that he spent years searching for happiness elsewhere while ignoring the woman who had already devoted her entire life to him. One evening, he stands alone looking at old family photographs. In every picture, Nan is smiling. In every picture, their daughter looks happy. But in every picture, Koki notices something he never saw before: Nan's eyes. Even during her happiest moments, there was always sadness hidden inside them. For years, she carried pain silently. For years, she sacrificed her own dreams. And for years, she waited for a man who never truly appreciated what he already had. Meanwhile, Nan has slowly begun rebuilding herself. She no longer allows the past to define her future. She spends her days focusing on her daughter, finding comfort in the simple moments of life. Yet, despite her strength, certain memories continue to follow her. Sometimes she remembers Koki's laughter. Sometimes she remembers the promises they once made together. And sometimes she remembers the man she believed he could become. But reality has taught her an important lesson. Love alone cannot save a relationship. Respect is equally important. Trust is equally important. And once trust is broken repeatedly, even the deepest love begins to fade. Elsewhere, Ai has finally accepted her role in everyone's suffering. For the first time, she does not justify her actions. She does not defend herself. She simply accepts responsibility. Standing beside a quiet lake, she speaks softly to herself. I loved him. I truly loved him. But love should never become the reason another woman cries herself to sleep. Tears fill her eyes. Yet there is peace inside her heart, because she finally understands that not every love story is meant to end with happiness. Some stories exist only to teach people difficult lessons, and perhaps this painful chapter was necessary for everyone involved. Before leaving the city permanently, Ai writes one final letter, not for Koki, not for herself, but for Nan. Inside the letter she writes, "You were stronger than I ever imagined. You protected your family even when your own heart was breaking. I once saw you as my rival. Today I see you as someone worthy of admiration. I hope one day you find the happiness you always deserved." Days later, Nan receives the letter. She reads every word carefully. For a long time, she remained silent, because she never expected understanding from someone who once stood between her and her family. But perhaps pain changes people. Perhaps suffering teaches people compassion. And perhaps forgiveness does not always mean forgetting. Sometimes forgiveness simply means choosing peace over bitterness. At the same time, Koki makes an important decision. Instead of trying to win Nan back through promises, he decides to become a better father, a better person, a better version of himself. He understands that redemption cannot be achieved through words. It can only be achieved through actions. Slowly, he begins spending more time with his daughter, helping with her studies, listening to her stories, being present in ways he never was before. His daughter notices the difference. One night, she asks him a question that leaves him speechless. "Dad, if people really regret their mistakes, why do they always realize it after hurting the people they love?" Koki lowers his head, because there is no easy answer. Only silence, only regret, only truth. Meanwhile, Nan watches from a distance. She sees change, she sees sincerity, but she also knows that healing takes time. Trust cannot return overnight.
Some wounds require years before they stop hurting. Yet, deep inside her heart, a small part of her begins to wonder, can broken relationships truly be rebuilt? Can people genuinely change? Or do some mistakes remain permanent forever? However, just as everyone believes life is finally becoming peaceful, a shocking revelation emerges. An old family friend arrives unexpectedly, carrying documents that had been hidden for years. Documents connected to Koki's past. Documents containing secrets that were never revealed. Secrets capable of changing everyone's understanding of previous events. Koki opens the envelope slowly. His expression changes immediately. Nan becomes nervous. Ai is informed before her departure, and everyone realizes that the story they thought was ending may actually be entering an entirely new chapter. Because sometimes the truth does not arrive when people are ready. It arrives when it has the power to change everything. As the camera slowly fades out, Koki whispers quietly, "I spent years asking for forgiveness, but perhaps what I really needed was the courage to face the truth." And somewhere nearby, Nan stands silently, not knowing whether destiny is offering them another chance, or preparing them for one final heartbreak.